Today's lesson is on two-step equations, and it is lesson 3 in the packet on equations. So this video goes with pages 4 and 5. All right, two-step equations. So there's two different types of two-step equations. The first one we're going to talk about is in this format, px plus q equals r. So the first step is to locate the variable. Second step, undo the addition subtraction to remove q. Undo this multiplication and division to remove p, and then check your solution. So we need to first find the variable, then we need to undo addition or subtraction, then undo multiplication or division, and then we always need to check. You check by substituting. All right, let's go through some of these examples. A is my variable. So that means that I need to undo this by addition or subtraction. Since it's a -2, I'm going to add 2. That's the inverse, and it would cancel this out. If I add 2 to this side of the equation, I have to add 2 to this side. It's called the equality property. What I do on one side, I have to do on the other. So that cancels, and I have 9a equals -63. All right, so I've undone addition, subtraction, and now I need to undo the multiplication, division. So this represents multiplication, so the inverse is division. So instead of multiply by 9, I'm going to divide by 9. If I do that on this side, I have to do it on this side. So that cancels out, and I get a equals -7. All right, step 4 is to check it. So I'm going to substitute -7 for this a. Let's rewrite our equation using -7 for a. All right, so 9 times -7 is -63. And -63 minus 2 is -65. So my solution, a equals -7, is correct. All right, number 2. So following the same steps, locate the variable. X is right here. And then we need to undo addition, subtraction. So the inverse of +7 is -7. I do that on one side, have to do it on the other. That cancels, and I get -4x equals 24. All right, I've undone addition, subtraction. Now I have to undo multiplication, division. So since this is multiply by -4, I'm going to divide by -4. If I do that on that side, I have to do it on this side. X equals -6. So let's check the solution, -6, substituting it. -4 times -6 plus 7 equals 31. Okay, so this gives me a 24. And 24 plus 7 is 31. All right, number 3. Here's k, so I'm going to undo this by adding 11 to both sides. K divided by 3 equals 6. Okay, I've undone add, subtract. Now I have to undo multiply, divide. So since this is divide by 3, I'm going to do the inverse, which is multiply by 3. If I do that on this side, I have to do it on this side. So these cancel, and I get k equals 18. All right, let's check it. Substitute 18 for K. 18 divided by 3 is 6. And 6 minus 11 is -5. Number 4. Here's my variable, so I need to undo a +23 with a -23. If I do that here, I have to do it here as well. All right, so I get -15 equals -5W. Okay, I'm going to add subtract. Now I'm going to undo this multiplying by dividing both sides by -5. And I get 3 equals W. Time to check. So I'm going to substitute. Okay, let's take care of that. 8 equals 23 minus 15. And 23 minus 15 is 8. Number 5. I need to add 11 to both sides. 8n equals 0. Okay, you need to divide both sides by 8. I get n equals 0. Let's check. 8 times 0 minus 11 equals -11. Well, that would simplify to this, which is true. Number 6. Here's my variable, so I need to undo +1 with a -1. I do it here, I have to do it here. -6 minus 1 is -7. All right, so this is a divide by -4. The inverse would be to multiply by -4. If I do that here, I need to also do it here. So that cancels. This gives me 28 equals n. Time to check. -6 equals 1 plus 28 divided by -4. All right, so let's see. This will give me a -7. And 1 minus 7 is -6. Number 7. Here's my variable, so I need to subtract 19 from both sides. -x equals 11. Now, I'm not done yet. I can't leave that a negative. So I'm going to divide by a -1. I do that here, I have to do it here. Because this negative, it's given it's a -1. So those cancel, and 11 divided by a -1 is -11. Okay, time to check. 19 minus -11 equals 30. So I know that if I multiply a negative times a negative, turns into a positive. And 19 plus 11 is 30. Number 8. Here's my variable, so I'm going to undo -17 with adding 17. R divided by 2 equals 17. I'm not checking this out. -8. Okay, now I need to undo divide by 2, so I'm going to multiply by 2. Do that there, I have to do it here. R equals -16. Time to check. Okay, so I've substituted this for r. Let's figure out what this is. Be a minus 8. And negative 17 minus 8 is negative 25. At page 5. Okay, here we have some problems with decimals. So for these, you may use calculator. So number 9, you'll follow the same exact steps. I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. Get 0.4x equals 2. All right, so I need to, this represents multiply, so I'm going to divide to get rid of that. And if I do that on one side, I've got to do it on the other. So I'm going to put 2 divided by 4. My answer is 5. Check. So this is 0.4 times 5 plus 9 equals 11. Okay, so I use my calculator, and I would end up getting 2 plus 9 equals 11, which is true. Number 10, here's my variable, so I'm going to undo this. Negative 8 equals negative 1.5 m. Right, time to undo this multiplication by dividing. If I divide that side, I have to divide this side. So 8 divided by negative 1.5. My calculator. 8. And then I push the negative sign down here at the bottom. Now I'm going to put divide 1.5 and the negative again equals 5.333333. So that I'm going to write as 5.3 repeating. Okay, time to substitute. Negative 18 equals negative 10 minus 1.5 times 5.3. Okay. So I'm going to start off by multiplying this. So negative 1.5 negative times 5.3 is 7.95. Okay, and then I'm going to subtract 10 negative minus 7.95, which gives me this. Now this is not exact, but that's because I have a repeating decimal. So this does make sense. This does round to negative 18. So this is correct. Number 11, undo addition subtraction first. B divided by negative 0.8 equals 25. Okay, so I need to multiply times negative 0.8. And if I do that on this side, I have to do that on this side. So I'm left with negative 20. Let's check it out. Negative 20 divided by negative 0.8 plus 14 equals 39. Okay, so negative 20 divided by 0.8 equals 25. And 25 plus 14 equals 39. Number 12. I'm going to add 7 to both sides. 2/3 x equals 12. Okay, now it's time to undo. This is multiplication. And the way that you undo a fraction is you multiply it by the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2. If I multiply this by 3/2, I have to also multiply this side by 3/2. So x equals, okay, so I can divide this by 2 and this by 2, right? That's all of the simplifying I can do. So I'm ready to multiply. And I would get 18 over 1, which is equal to 18. Time to check. 2/3 of 18 minus 7 equals 5. So let's check this part out first. 5 by 3, divide by 3. So that's 12. And 12 minus 7 is 5. Number 13. Here's my variable, so I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. Negative 10 equals negative 5/8c. All right, so to undo multiplying by negative 5/8, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is negative 8/5. By multiplying this by the reciprocal, I need to also multiply this by the reciprocal. So these cancel out. Divide this by 5 and this by 5. And then multiply and I get 16. Okay, let's check. Negative 1 equals negative 5/8 times 16 plus 9. So let's take care of this first. All right, negative 10 plus 9 is negative 1. Number 14, add 16 to both sides. 1/3 m equals 15. Multiply times the reciprocal. So I need to multiply this side by the reciprocal. So m equals 45 over 1, which is 45. Time to check. Okay, 1/3 of 45 is 15. And 15 minus 16 is negative 1. Two-step equations. So for this, you're going to locate the variable, but you're going to undo the multiplication and division, and then undo addition, subtraction, and still check your answer by substituting. So this equation is set up a little bit differently. So when you recognize this, then you're going to undo multiply, divide first. All right, so this is divide by 6. So I need to multiply both sides by 6. I get x minus 1 equals 12. I'm going to add 1 to both sides. And x equals 13. Okay, let's check it out. 13 minus 1 divided by 6 equals 2. So 13 minus 1 is 12. And 12 divided by 6 is 2. So that is the correct solution. Okay, number 16. I'm going to multiply this by -2, which means I need to multiply this by -2. Okay, subtract 17 from both sides so that I end up with m all by itself. Substitute -35 for m. Okay, so this would give me 9 equals 18, -18 minus 2. And -18 divided by -2 is 9. All right, number 17. Okay, instead of divide by 16, I'm going to multiply. So I need to do both sides. Right, 16 times -3 is -48. These cancel out. Okay, let's add 5 to both sides. That -43 equals k. Time to substitute. Okay, so 43 minus 5 gives me 38, or I'm sorry, -48. And -48 divided by 16 is -3. So this is the correct solution. Number 18. Instead of divide by 7, I'm going to multiply by 7. So we need to do that on both sides. P plus 20 equals -28. Subtract 20 from both sides. P equals -48. Let's check. -48 plus 20 divided by 7 equals -4. So this is a -28. -28 divided by 7 is -4. Okay, so now it's time to go to Google Classroom and do the pixel art assignment.